this was another cool thing on top of Law being revealed that he's a warlord of the sea now, which so sweet, sweet as candy. Hello and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the Anime and Manga Podcast, where we highlight and discuss new series each week. But today we are back again with more Done Piece, which means that today my name is Josh, the Surgeon of Death Michaels, and today I am joined by
Mehgan Smoky Perrine.
Smokin'.
Smokin'.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Volume 1 today. It's another Done Piece episode. We are going to be covering the first part of Punk Hazard. That is going to be chapter 654 through 677. There is a lot to talk about in this arc. However, and me and Megan talked a little bit before the episode about how mostly this arc feels a lot like it's setting up for what's to come. What's to come in the second half and even after that in Dressrosa.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying just blow through all of Punk Hazard at once, and it's like, okay, well, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a good amount of reading.
I mean, it's 46 chapters total, but with just our current schedule.
That's what I mean, yeah.
And the other things that we are trying to do simultaneously, it just wasn't possible. As much as we would have loved to blow through it in one sitting, but at least, hey, you get 2 Punk Hazard episodes now, double the One Piece content.
Double it.
Before we go into Punk Hazard, instead of a highlighted comment today, there are just a couple things from last week's episode with Murphy, the finale of Fishman Island, that I wanted to address. Just a few things. Everybody was pretty supportive. Everybody seemed pretty excited. There were a few people who, I think it's hard, sometimes when you get lost in the silly. I think you get lost in the silly and you say things that you think you think are obvious are a joke, but when you look back, and even when you look back and listen to yourself, you're like, oh, it didn't sound like I was joking. I could see why people might be confused. One of those things just was there were a lot of comments about Roger, the comment we made about Roger being Luffy's dad. A lot of comments, a lot of people saying, someone please tell them that Roger was executed, before Luffy was even born, so that's not physically possible. It was us being silly. It was more of a joke. And it's just us being silly because it's funny to us just how similar Roger and Luffy are, which I know and am sure is there. Not am sure, I know there's a reason for that. That is purposeful, that is on purpose, that is by design. But it seems like at times, it seems like they're freaking clones of each other.
For real.
And who knows? Maybe
maybe it is a clone.
Maybe, who knows?
Luffy's a clone.
Yeah, maybe Luffy's a clone.
And a clown.
And who knows? Maybe Roger is Luffy's dad. Just kidding. I just
double down.
I'm just kidding. What if I double down? Just kidding. But maybe there is maybe he's a part of Luffy's lineage somehow.
Definitely.
Who knows?
Definitely.
Who knows? It just came from, again, the similarities between the two. The other thing I wanted to mention really quick, with the ancient weapons all being humans, and a lot of people pointing back to Water 7 with the blueprints that Iceberg and Frankie had for the ancient weapon Pluton. I guess why I was, and I was probably, this was something I said more seriously that I was probably wrong about, but I guess where I even got that from, the idea that they all might be humans, is just like Pluton seemed to be some sort of ship, and the Noah was also this ship that was designed to be pulled by these Neptunians.
Yeah.
It made me think
Sea Kings, that's another one.
Sea Kings, not Neptunians.
But
that's just a translation thing, though.
Yeah.
But it made me think that maybe there is a person who is supposed to, maybe Joy Boy is supposed to pilot or man the Pluton.
There's a theory that Frankie's building himself to be Pluton.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. That's so sick.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'll say, so that's kind of where I got that from. I could be way off, and it just could be that Pluton is the ancient weapon, and there's nothing else to it. But I like the Frankie theory.
Guess a commenter said that, and I was like, because he's modifying himself.
Yeah. And
yeah, that's pretty cool.
And the last thing I wanted to talk about is just the Nami Design thing. I think, and we're not going to spend too much time here, I just think that there are some people who mistook a minor critique for something that was this like huge concern of ours. It wasn't. It was just more an observation.
An observation and also opinion.
Yeah. And yeah, again, it's nothing. It's like, you know, when we say, it was more so to say that out of everybody's design, even when you compare Robin to Nami, we personally enjoyed Robin's new outfit, which I know they change outfits a lot.
Yeah.
I know outfits are changed a lot, but just upon reintroduction, you know, just being more drawn to Robin than Robin's design or outfit than Nami's. But that's such a small thing. It's such a small thing. It's not like, Jesus Christ, this is so unacceptable. Nami's fucking bazoombas are out. She got the bazoombas out. She got her laboons out right now.
Oh.
And she needs to put them back. It's not out of that. It's
not
just,
out of hate.
Yeah, it's
or
not
like
or
looking down on a character.
Yeah. You know, so love all the character designs just out of everybody. I think that was the one that was just maybe the most underwhelming to us personally.
Sanji didn't change really shit. He just changed his hair.
But I did like, and I don't know if we mentioned it in another episode, but you said that in an SBS you had found out that Oda said Zorro's right eye is the eye that's scarred, right? And now Sanji's hair is parted to the right to show his left eye. So it's like they are such an opposition that they're always at odds, and they are always opposite each other, and they're literally kind of with Sanji showing his left eye and Zorro showing his right eye. Or vice versa, but I thought that
and
that was
revealing
really cool.
that Sanji has the same eyebrows going the same
on
way.
both sides.
Disgusting.
Yeah, what? At least get them symmetrical. Dude. At least get them. You know, at least you have them pointing or facing each other. This is maddening. I mean, imagine seeing him. I did see someone in a YouTube video when they were cosplaying Sanji, and they did do both eyebrows like that. And I was like, I think they did it wrong. That looks weird. That looks weird as shit. That looks bad, but I mean that's
him.
That's it. That was accurate. That was manga accurate. Just some little things that we wanted to clear up to start off fresh, dude. To start off on a blank slate going into Punk Hazard, because most of the time, if we're saying anything wild, most of the time, if we're saying anything crazy, we're just having a good time. We're just having fun.
We're having a laugh,
and we're just having a laugh. We're just taking a piss, having a laugh. Okay. But that's it. Now, Punk Hazard, let's freaking go. Highlights for you, Mehgan. What were some of your favorite parts? What did you think about this first part of the arc? And like I said, I know it does feel like it's a setup for what's to come. But regardless, how'd you feel?
I thought there was a lot of cool things that happened in this first half. Again, it was like, you know, no thriller bark. It didn't have me like completely hooked in the first couple of chapters. It took a little bit to get there, more introductions to different characters and stuff like that. But I really liked, you know, like the running gag of the switcheroo Freaky Friday situation. Loved that.
Yeah.
And I also loved, you know, Law coming back.
Oh,
that was really sick to see more of his powers, and like he ate the OP fruit, and he is OP. I mean,
he ate the op fruit, OP.
Yeah, OP.
And he might have some of the most interesting devil fruit powers to me personally that I've seen so far. There are a lot of uses of strange powers that end up being used in way creative ways, way more creative ways than I could have ever imagined. But in terms of just Law, not only like what his devil fruit abilities actually are, but what he can do with them and how they are used and how they just look visually is some of the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. He really pops off. And then also like getting more information on Wano, like getting more, a character from Wano, samurai, like finding out that they're not affiliated with the world government. Like, I don't think we'd found that out yet. So that was a pretty shocking thing. Like, that the fact they're like closed off from the rest of the world was pretty cool. So it's interesting. I mean, we kind of know, obviously, the current arc is Wano. So I'm just like so excited to get there because I am like so curious to see like the other characters and like, how they even get there, if it is closed off, if they don't let people in.
I think my theory, we'll just get a quick theory out at the beginning of the episode, is that this samurai who they help is going to be their way into Wano because I, again,
that would make sense.
Can't help but feel like I might have maybe seen on like, on a manga cover, maybe at a Barnes & Noble or something that's far ahead, he's with them. So I do have this like idea that he will, he's indebted to them by the end of the first half of this arc. He's kind of come around to maybe not pirates in general, but these pirates, the Straw Hats. And so I feel like he's gonna owe them a debt, and part of that will be like letting them into this place when they need to be let in,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I also liked God, I forgot the main villain's name, the clown.
Oh, Caesar Clown, very
cool.
He was like the gas. He was like the gas from Furrin Gully, dude. This is just Punk Hazard is Furrin Gully, dude.
Furrin
Gully.
Furrin Gully. He was a really cool villain. I mean, obviously compared to Hootie Hody, I feel like they're two different characters. I mean, this fool's like kidnapping children and making them addicted to drugs. I mean, that's crazy. Pretty sinister. And it was just such a great way to start everything off and to have them, kind of, I guess, have a reason to go on this like journey to like make a relationship or like an alliance with Law.
I like the alliance aspect.
Save the kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Save the kids. The kids are our future.
Yeah. I like the alliance. We even see Eustace Kid and some of the Worst Generation, which I believe this might be the first time that we've seen Luffy hears the term Worst Generation, which is obviously the generation of pirates, but born between two eras that have been wreaking havoc in the New World over the past 2 years.
They're the worst, yeah.
They're the best, dude. They're the best generation. But I like the alliance aspect of it. And in terms of like Caesar Clown, I think right now, him being Vegapunk's number 2, I did... And I imagine, and again, I do want to be very, very, very clear about this. I imagine because people were stressing that we finish this arc in one sitting, I think that the only reason people would say that is because there are things that you won't be able to fully understand or appreciate about maybe certain aspects of the story until you finish it. Things that you might not have appreciated if you just read the first part. So I believe wholeheartedly, without a doubt in my mind, that there are way crazier things in store, and even a lot of maybe the small nitpicks that I might have will probably and most likely, I believe, be addressed in the second half. Mm-hmm. But just wanted to be clear about that. I love the location of Punk Hazard, the reveal of Punk Hazard, why its climate is the way it is.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was probably another highlight for me for sure.
Caesar Clown, I guess, just didn't super grab me as like a villain. I mean, I like the gas fruit. I like how he again is able to use it in different ways later on because again with Luffy's what is it? He's impervious or immune to poison, but it's not just poison, it's air. Oxygen is gas. Mm-hmm. I like that he's able to do more things with it, but him as a villain didn't, at least at this point in the arc, he didn't grab me. He didn't, I wasn't super in love with him.
No.
The highlight for me was definitely Law, and out of even all the body swaps, the highlight of the body swaps was kind of the Smoker and Tashigi body swap.
For sure.
That was the best part.
Hilarious.
I loved that.
And I loved seeing them too. I mean, like they're fighting Luffy and Luffy's like, you guys are so weak now. And it's just so funny compared to Luffy. I mean, like, I'm sure they're training and like, they didn't train as hard as Luffy did in those 2 years. So it's just funny how he's like, you guys are weak now. And he was like, really kind of putting up a fight with him before.
Well, he said that they're weak now because he only fought them when they were body swapped. And so he...
Oh, I was confused. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's why...
Thank you for that clarification. I was like, oh, they're just weak now, I guess.
No. They were only weak. And even Luffy, there's a moment where Luffy grabs... I think he grabs either Smoker, that's Tashigi, or Tashigi, that's Smoker. I forget which one. But he grabs him and says, like,
oh, yeah.
we're not going to fight right now because you're not at your best, but we'll fight again. We'll fight again when it's a fair fight. But not right. That's not right now. And then kind of like, walked all over him and let him go. But I wanted to, and again, I feel like we're going to see, we get little bits about Vegapunk, but Vegapunk to me has become this huge mysterious figure that I am dying to know more about. Vegapunk was name dropped, I think, for the first time when we see not post time skip, but when we see like grown up Kobe, when we see Garp, when they come, and Helmeppo when they come to talk to Luffy, he was name dropped the first time then, I believe, and ever since then he's been name dropped so many times, and there's so much mystery, surrounding him. Is he really working for the government because he believes what the government stands for? Does he have ulterior motives? What was his deal with Kuma? I mean, there's just so many, Frankie now having some of Vegapunk's technology. There's just so much I want to know. And going to Vegapunk, Punk Hazard, like this being the island that he was doing a lot of his research on, I really wanted to get more Vegapunk. I'm sure we will get more as the arc continues or in the second half, but I was really, really itching for. I was like the kids with candy. I was like, give me some of that.
Give me some of that Vegapunk candy.
Yeah, give me some of that Vega candy. Give me some of that more like punk
Vega
candy.
Punch.
Vega Punch, dude. It's like a gum. Vega Punch.
Get your Vega Punch now. Please ask your parents for permission.
Vega Punch is an extremely addictive chemical.
Vega Punch can cause heart attack.
Yeah.
Blood clots.
Blood clots and strokes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, the body swaps were cool. I appreciate how Oda did a great job at taking this thing that would have otherwise been the most confusing thing ever and really did his best to make it understandable, or for you to not get kind of lost in the sauce, because it is sometimes hard to keep track of all the different groups that are in all the different places that are doing all the different things.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
There was a lot of that, but now it's not just that. It's that they're body swapped. So there was a couple parts during this first part where I was like, I am struggling to keep up right now. That's why I was so glad he drew the little masks on top of their head.
Even without the mask too, you could kind of, I mean, he used like the eyes, he used like, obviously the way they spoke. Even in the speech bubbles, they showed, he drew a little version of themselves actually saying it. So it was really cool. I mean, you've seen it before. Scooby-Doo, Freaky Friday, the list goes on.
Name one more.
When they switch body,
I think my point has been proven. Go on.
It happens a lot, and Oda did it really, really well. And I liked the team ups, I guess, of the swaps. I mean, I could have done without Sanji getting Nami's body because that was a given. But it's okay. It's fine. We're not just a Sanji hate crew on this channel. Like, he really wasn't that bad in this first half of.
Thank God he had shit to do.
Thank God, yeah. Thank God he wasn't just rocking around.
Yeah. Thank God he didn't have a moment of free time. Yeah. Because that could have been bad. That's some stuff you don't come back from.
He really wasn't horrible, and I was just like kind of laughing because in the swap we see Chopper and his body, and there's some really impactful moments with Chopper, and seeing this abuse of power to like change a person's like chemical balance to make them addicted to something that they're not, especially like children. So he had a really cool moment in Sanji's body, which I'm like, damn, you couldn't even give Chopper these cool moments in his body. Like, damn, Oda, you really hate Chopper, I guess. Shit. But yeah, it was really cool. I liked Chopper's conviction in this first part.
Yeah.
That's what really sold it.
I like
for
Nami's
me.
conviction too.
I agree.
Really, really wanting to and making it a priority for her to save these children.
I was kind of like shocked how they were like, let's go. I was like, are they really going to leave and come back? And the kids were like, no, save us. And I was like, damn, this is like dark. I mean,
some other cool things I wrote down. I mean, look, the first half was amazing. It had alliances, it had dragons, and of course, the Joker reveal was very, very cool. And there's so many things dropped here. I understand why people said, do your best, try if you can to read this all in one sitting, because there are so many things that are just alluded to throughout this arc that have piqued my interest so much. But overall, the first half the first half, literally where we stopped reading at chapter 677, ends with Luffy saying, let's raise some hell, which is awesome. And
Luffy's cussing?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Luffy's
hell's
a fucking pirate.
Cuss word. Hell's a cuss word.
But I just mean that, like, it piqued my interest, and it makes me excited for the things to come. However, it felt like there was a lot going on here, and most of it did, unfortunately, feel like setup, which again, in the grand scheme of things, is necessary and purposeful, and is great.
Yeah, there was a lot.
It makes me more excited to come back and do the second half.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of split ups and a lot of like just going from one location to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Like not really like staying in one place for too long. It kind of felt like, okay, we're going here now. Okay, we're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. Okay, we're meeting this person. We're doing this. Like it was a lot happening at once. And then right at like the end, going into the second part of the arc, it was like, okay, they're in the cell. Their
bodies are back.
Their bodies are back.
Except for Nami and Sanji, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I just, there's moments with Law too, where it's like, he's trapped. He's okay. We're ready for the next plan. And then he breaks out of the shackles. They're like, how'd you do that? He's like, I've been here for months. Like, of course I would switch out some of the shackles. And I was
Law
like,
being a warlord of the fucking sea? Yeah. Excuse me?
Now Luffy,
that's what I'm talking about.
Luffy has relationships with an emperor. What is it? An emperor? No. What is it called?
What? Who are you talking about? A warlord?
No. Yeah, an emperor.
Who? Shanks?
Yes. There is a relationship with Shanks, Boa, Jinbei.
Yeah.
Law.
Yeah.
Am I missing anyone else?
I mean,
Ray
Ivankov
Lee?
is like the revolution.
Ivankov.
I
mean,
he's tied to kind of everything. He's got connections. Yeah.
He's got connections. He got a little phone book. Who can I call up? Who can I call up?
He's got the connect, dude. Always go to Luffy.
Always.
Yeah, but
always call Luffy for that good.
Yeah, for that good. But no, he has these relationships with everybody, and it's interesting you mentioned the emperor, the four emperors, because now we know four emperors are Shanks, Big Mom, Kaido, and Blackbeard. They make a plan. This was another cool thing on top of Law being revealed that he's a warlord of the sea now, which so sweet, sweet as candy. But also that Law's plan is to take out one of the four emperors.
And I read it. I had to read it back because Luffy even said, like, which one are you talking
about?
Don't
say. Oda does that shit again. He be doing that bullshit again.
I have a theory.
Go off.
Big Mom.
Here's why I think it's not Big Mom. Because at this point in the story, Big Mom would be the most obvious person for it to be.
I guess that's true. You think he's like trying to like just go for it and take Blackbeard out? Like, is it going to be like a long burn where like they have an alliance for that long? Because I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Okay, he does have a grudge. See, this is why I think Oda loves a good curveball, right? He loves to keep you on your toes, and he loves to just do shit that you would never see coming, but always makes it make sense. So Kaido, he has kind of no really relationship with at this point. Big Mom would be kind of an obvious one, and Blackbeard would kind of be an obvious one too, because of obviously the events of Marineford, Impel Down, all that stuff. However, I feel like it might be Shanks. And Luffy's like, that sounds fun. that will make him recognize me as an equal, as a peer.
Yeah, but I would say maybe yes. But at the same time, it's like I don't think he would do that to Shanks. He'd be like, yeah, maybe we can go see him, but I'm not going to help you take him down or take him out. I think it's Big Mom because who knows if Kaido has a relationship with her already.
Yeah. We
don't know. I mean, we haven't even seen this fool's backstory yet. Like, who knows?
We haven't seen any of their backstory yet. Like, we don't know. We still, at this point, don't know much about Big Mom.
No.
We've seen her.
We know that she's big.
We get a sense of her. Yeah, we know
that she's mom.
She's big. That mom's big.
Big. And we know she's a mom. And we know that she likes sweets.
We know that
she must be sweet.
Yeah.
She must be a sweet lady.
Yeah, grown adults that love, candy and giving out candy.
Okay, that's you, though.
Okay, I do love candy.
Yeah, you do love
but
sweets.
It's because I'm sober and sober people to make up for the sugar that they used to get in alcohol, seek it out in other places, such as candy. Okay, so maybe next time you see a creepy adult with candy in their pocket, instead of thinking he's a freaking, what is it? He's he's some sort of like suspicious guy. Maybe reconsider and just think that he might also be a sober guy. Predator, I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Right. I was like, you're looking for what word?
yeah. Instead of thinking he's a predator, maybe he's just sober. And he's just carrying around.
Does that happen
candy.
to you a lot?
People are like, damn, what's this freak in
Hello?
full law
Police?
cosplay with candy?
Police, yes, man, is at a Chili's.
I don't think he's
got a booth.
I don't think he's got anything on under that law robe that he's wearing.
Yeah, Law goes full naked under.
Yeah, we finally got to see that panel too. That Law Chopper panel.
I was like, yes, and Chopper's just. He's just like, wow, you have a really cool power. You have a really cool power. You just teleport? Law's like, shut the fuck up.
There's two things I don't really understand, and as we go beat by beat through it, I hope to gain a better understanding of it.
I hope to God.
Or people feel free to let us know. Mm-hmm. But there's two things. This one I think I'll find out more about in time. But just the specifics. As much we've been let in on Law's devil fruit abilities a lot more, but I still feel like I don't have a full grasp on exactly everything that he can do. We've seen a lot of what he could do, and I feel like I get like 90%. I've seen like 90% or 80% of what he could do, but I still feel like there's 20% that either we haven't seen or that I wouldn't even imagine he would be capable of.
You said we say 90%?
80 to 90 maybe. Because we saw a lot.
If we see 20 more percent, that's over.
No, that's why I said 80. Yeah. And the other, so, I do feel like there is still a little bit of ambiguity around Law's devil fruit abilities. But the other thing is, I don't know, and I could have read this wrong, but I did go back and make sure. There's a moment where, obviously, and we'll get there when we go beat by beat, but there's a moment where we meet a creature. A creature, a gas of sorts.
I like him.
That has eaten a devil fruit, right?
Yes.
Specifically the Sala fruit.
Axolotl
the
mode.
Axolotl mode. However, it has already been kind of told to us that he eats that thing has ate a devil fruit or been given a devil fruit, allowing it to take that form. But then it seems like it eats another devil fruit later that causes it to sort of turn to smoke. Do you remember this? Do you remember this part? There's a moment.
I think that.
There's a moment where there's a bag of apples.
No, I remember that. I don't think that he turned into smoke. I think that was just his ability to turn other people into that, like, gelatinous thing.
See, but that's the thing. He was just, when he was just the ooze, he was, if you struck it, it would explode. It had sort of it had how do I say it? It had certain abilities, right? But it didn't have the ability to petrify people or to freeze people until it ate this thing.
Yes.
The second thing, seemingly this second devil fruit.
Yes.
Which, again, when we were talking about Blackbeard being able to eat 2 devil fruits, which there are a lot of really cool theories as to why he was even able to do that, how he was able to do that. Some of which being that he's either, he's got one of those, he's a conjoined twin or something, he's got one of them on his back or something. Or the other thing being that, maybe, he has 2 people in one person and they can split and they could join, whatever.
Maybe it's like an inanimate object can.
But that's what I would like some clarification of from people without spoiling anything at this point. Because it did look, and also the fact that it was disguised, that this apple had like somehow either Caesar Clown, somebody had disguised it like an apple. And then all of a sudden, it starts slowly turning into a devil fruit. That was interesting to me too. Are devil fruits just lying around everywhere and they look and appear to be normal fruits? But upon maybe some further inspection.
Yeah, it kind of just switched up real quick.
So I'm thinking, I don't know if also Caesar Clown is like if he's turning fruits into devil fruits. If he has that technology, if he's that smart, he's Vegapunk's number 2. I don't know. Some interesting theories
Who knows?
here. But
the people know.
The people know, and they'll let us know. And thank you. All right, you ready to go through this, Mehgan?
Sure.
All right. So where we start is still deep under the sea, coming to the surface from Fishman Island, and poor Nami, beautiful Nami. All she's trying to do is take a bath, dude. That's all she's trying to do. She's just trying to relax. And if anybody deserves a bath, it's Nami. And not for any pervy reasons, but she fucking works hard.
She does work hard, and she has no time off.
She doesn't get time off. And we see again that she doesn't get time off here either. She's in the bath for maybe 5 minutes, and then she's got to go handle the goons upstairs.
Yeah, and Chopper's just in there.
And Chopper, Chopper's like her baby, Chopper's like everybody's baby.
Yeah, it's like Chopper is like Nami and Robin's baby, but he's just like not interested in female females. So they're like, you can come in the bath with us. And I like that little SBS where they talk about the baths and like how often they bathe. Like I think it was like Zorro and Luffy were like once a week or like every 2 weeks or something. And then like Sanji, Robin, and I think
Frankie.
Nami were every day.
Oh wow!
And then Chopper, it was Zorro, Chopper, and Luffy that do every other day, and then it was like Frankie and Usopp. It's like every 3 days or whatever. But they're like
Chopper said that when Nami
licks himself.
Yeah, he's like, I licked myself 5 days ago. I'm good.
Nasty.
He's an animal.
He's an animal
that ate a human fruit. He's an animal.
Yeah, and they invite him, and he's like, I'd rather like bathe with the guys because the guys all bathe together. Yeah. But he's just so cute in the little bath.
He's cute.
He's adorable. But yeah, she has to get up and go to the.
She has to,
go to the
attend to the ruckus because all the guys, boys will be boys. They're on the deck trying to catch some deep sea fish. I get it. And then, of course, a white Strom appears. And they're kind of starting to be sucked into this white Strom. And they're saved, I don't think purposely, but accidentally, they're saved by some giant whales that look a lot like Laboon.
Yeah, a lot like Laboon. Like why?
I think there are whales like that in the real world that have a lot of like either they just scar easily or they maybe it's the coral or some shit underwater that we don't know about. But I feel like they're just it's not uncommon to see like some scarred up whales,
in the same spot.
But maybe also I don't know how long whales live in real life or in One Piece, but and maybe they're Laboon's family. I feel like I think
that's what they said, but Laboon didn't have those scars.
No, but I'm saying
just in general. Yeah, that's what they kind of allude to.
Yeah. Well, Laboon did have scars, but he got them from ramming his head into the into reverse mountain.
So that's why I was like, oh, they can't.
Or the red line.
That's not a.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like they still could be Laboon's family, I believe.
That's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way to tell unless they get a DNA test. They need to go on Jerry Springer. The whales need to go on Jerry Springer. Laboon, you are not the father.
How would Laboon be the father?
Because it's got to be drama for TV.
You are not the father of yourself.
You are not the father of yourself. But and this was a sweet moment for Brook. It was a funny moment turned to a sweet moment when Brook, mistakes them for Laboon, and is kind of like so happy that he's seeing him again, but then realizes it's not, and just plays the music, and they love the music.
They love it. They're smiling. They love it.
It says how he bonded. It's the same way he bonded with Laboon.
So cute.
Very cute. The whales help them or allow them to basically hitch a ride up to the surface. You think all is well, all is cute, sunshine and rainbows, and they get up there and it's a freaking storm up there, dude. It's stormy. It's a bad one. It's a bad one. Let's say that.
It's a bad one. Okay. No, it's just raining.
No, it's pretty bad. It's pretty crazy.
It's just raining a little bit.
No, it's bad. It's a bad storm.
Not really that
bad.
They
were all freaked out. They were all very concerned. Okay. All right. To each their own. Interpret it how you will.
Exactly.
But they get a distress call on their snail transponder.
It's crying.
Which was very funny. And it's from someone on Punk Hazard talking about a samurai from Wano cutting them all up, and they say, I like how they give this like strange information that doesn't really kind of add up. They say, it's so cold here. Boss, is that you? There's a samurai. He's cutting us all up. Help. And of course, everybody thinks that this is a trick from the Navy, the oldest trick in the Navy book.
Yeah, Robin's like, don't answer that before Luffy answers it. Don't answer that because it could be like a trap. And then he answers it.
And he's like, hi, I'm Luffy, future king of the pirates. How can I help ya?
It's like, don't answer the door when there's strangers. My mom said I can't answer the door when no one's home.
Yeah.
Like a total.
And then they're like, here's some candy.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm just saying it happens, unfortunately.
God damn.
Anyway, this is where Brook tells everybody more about Wano.
Yes.
This is where we get some more of that Wano information, which again, knowing that it's coming up, anytime we get a little sprinkle of Wano, it's my ears perk up and I pay close attention. But like Mehgan said in the beginning, Wano closed off, not affiliated with the world government, seems to be one of the only islands or one of the only regions not associated with the world government, at least that we know of at this point. And it's cool that Brook's the one giving him all this knowledge because that man old, and he's been around the block. So it's cool that he's the one giving him all this information. And then we cut to Smoker and Tashigi, who are freaking Edward Snowden over there, dude. They're freaking tapped in. They're tapped in. They're like, they really are the government listening to our calls.
That part. Even when we're not on calls.
Yeah. Yeah. Even when you're not on your phone, it's listening. How do you think you get all those ads for all those? You talk to somebody like, damn, I need a new bed. Next thing you know, because of cookies, you're on browsing the web. You're like, damn, where are all these ads for beds at? Because of them internet cookies.
And they're not sweet.
They're not sweet. Although I do kind of like, at first I think as a society,
like cookies?
I love cookies. I think first as a society, we were all like, damn, the government is listening to us. And it was kind of a conspiracy theory. Now it's like the government is listening to us and we're like, yeah, we know. And we kind of like it. It's way more convenient.
It's really convenient for us and our shopping needs.
There's a dark side to it. I'm sure they're buying our information and that's pretty scary. But at the same time, YouTube knows what I want. Amazon knows what I want.
Good old algae.
Good old Bezos. Good old Susan. She's like the CEO of YouTube. I think one of them.
You're on a first name basis with Susan?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to know the platform that you're on.
Okay, so then we're
what?
Then what? You have a connection with Susan, just like Luffy has a connection with all the warlords. So like, what's going on?
Right. I have the same connection. I don't have like like we never met, but I do sometimes. I sit like Wanda, and I just kind of close my eyes.
You have a spiritual connection.
Yeah. Or like Vecna from Stranger Things, my freaking black tentacles come out and I just kind of spy in on everybody.
Yeah. And you're like, if I
Make a deal with God.
Okay, that's enough.
That's the only time.
It's the only time that's ever gonna happen.
It's everywhere. I'm sorry.
But
Smoker Tashiki's so cool seeing him again.
So cool. I loved it.
Smoker looks so fucking sick, dude. We see he's got a little promotion. We've seen that already. But we see that, Tashigi captain, we've seen that already too. But it's so cool to see him in these roles, to see them rise the ranks.
Yeah, she's boss bitch.
Yeah, boss bitch shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then everybody gets a little split up, okay? Team Luffy, which is Robin, Zorro, and Usopp and Luffy, they go on ahead. They take the little mini Mary out. Love seeing the mini Mary.
Love it.
And they go on a Pug Hazard, which is very confusing to them because it's an island that isn't recognized by the log post. The log post does not point to it for whatever reason. And this distress call said that it came from Punk Hazard, but they said that it was cold, and as far as they can tell, Punk Hazard looks very hot.
It's hot. They step on land and they're like, "Woo!"
Yeah,
shooty.
The floor is lava.
Yeah, the floor is lava. Literally.
And I love that reveal. Out of all the reveals, that might have been the coolest reveal.
It really was, and I do love. I mean, I've heard people complain about it, but I love that I don't even know if we'll see it. But I love that it's just talked about and you don't see it, the Akainu and Aokiji fight.
I think we might see it, though.
I just like that. I would just
maybe
like if we never did.
I would be fine if we never did.
I just like how it's talked about. It's like this huge battle and you get to see kind of the aftermath of it. Like, it would be so much to see. So I feel like I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just
I agree with that.
Stupid.
No, I agree with you. I think that there's a chance that we might see it. But
maybe.
I would be fine if we didn't for all the reasons you just stated.
No, I wasn't. That wasn't an attack at you.
You knew it was an attack at yourself.
I was getting in front of it.
It was an attack at yourself.
I was getting in front of it. But yeah, I like how they allude to it a lot. And obviously this is the fallout in seeing where they hunkered down for those 10 days. And
so sick.
Really sick.
So sick. They find a lot of interesting stuff on Punk Hazard. One of the first things they find is a fucking dragon. And I did not... when you think. I mean, we've seen dinosaurs. We've seen it all. We've been down to the depths of the sea and to the clouds in the sky, but we get to see a dragon for the first time. And we learned that this was like I think artificially created, genetically modified sort of animal.
GMO dragon.
It's a GMO dragon that Vegapunk has created, one of Vegapunk's pets, with Luffy wanting to befriend he wants to befriend the Kraken. He wants to befriend all the animals and the Cerberus in Thriller Bark. Luffy wants to befriend every cool ass animal he wants to befriend. You'd think that when this man comes across a dragon that he would want to tame and befriend this dragon. Yet what does Luffy do? Him and Zorro fuck that dragon up, and Zorro chops his head off.
That was shocking.
And they eat it.
They eat him.
Which is also sick. But how much sicker would it have been if Luffy had a dragon?
Yeah, that could come back at any point in the story to help them with the fight.
Yeah. I mean, I was pretty shocked. I was shocked. Out of all the things, because I thought Luffy was going to be, I'm sitting there, I'm like, here we go, Luffy.
Luffy's going to be like, oh, you want to be my friend?
Get him, Luffy. Make him join your crew.
And then Zorro was like, shh.
And they were like, and I was like, damn.
And then they were like,
And they were like, dragon
yummy.
meat.
Yeah.
But yeah, they eat that boy, and there's some legs on there. This was a fun reveal. This was cool. It looks like something stuck in the dragon, but it turns out it's literally just legs, and they are moving, and it's very funny. I even thought this too when they're talking about the reason why, because I kept wondering too, well, if they're following certain rules, then why does it seem to not follow the rules then why are the legs talking? The legs shouldn't be able to talk, but they explain it. The legs were communicating through farts, which might seem pretty childish, but was pretty funny.
It was funny and practical.
And I appreciate a good explanation. I liked it. I was a fan.
Pedos.
Yeah. Some little freaking, some little fucking dropping out there. But it's more important who these legs belong to. We don't find that out for a little while. But after this, we cut back to the rest of the gang who have been put to sleep, knocked out by some gas. They got the freaking...
Always the gas.
Always the gas. They got some
Like gas
people
put you
in.
to sleep.
They got some people in hazmat suits
Yeah.
coming to collect.
Monsters Inc. style.
A little Monsters Inc. style, yeah, because they look a little weird. They're goats.
2319.
They're goats, but goats are kind of monsters. If you ever seen like goats screaming on the internet,
Yeah. I wouldn't say they're monsters. You think they're monsters?
I'm saying they can be.
Oh, yeah.
People can be monsters too. Everything can be monsters.
Yeah, they're kind of like sheeple.
That's deep. Oh, that's deep too. Everything can be a monster. Everything.
Even a Red Bull.
Yeah, sure. Where did that come from?
Just drinking Red Bull.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be. Even a Red Bull could become a monster. You're saying that because they're both energy drinks. Mehgan, you're too good. Yeah, you're too good, and that's the problem. That's the problem.
That's the fucking issue.
So the rest of the gang get knocked out, and they wake up in this facility. Luffy, there's like a funny joke with like Luffy wanting to become a centaur.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
Frankie, like everybody has an obsession with becoming a centaur. Frankie, there was that moment when he was on the sea train and his legs came out and he was like centaur mode.
That was so disgusting.
It was wild.
I hated that shit.
I kind of hated it and loved it at the same time.
It was
I
so
kept going back and forth. But now
Centaurs
Luffy,
kind of freak me out.
why?
I don't know. Just something.
I'm trying to think of
a little off.
I'm trying to think of a cool centaur, and I mean, I guess there's no, I guess there's no real cool centaur that
A cool centaur.
that pops into my head when I think of them. I know, because I forget what Mr. Tumnus is, but he's not a centaur.
He's like a faunia or like a fawn.
Oh, deep pool! Wow.
Yeah, I watched Narnia.
Anyway, this is funny because they do come across some centaurs later.
Yeah, some
And
leopard, giraffe, centaur shit. Just going back to Thriller Bark shit.
Going back.
That's what it felt like.
It did a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when the rest of the gang wakes up, they're in this secret facility. They wake up next to these pieces of a head. Now, as soon as I saw these pieces of the head, I knew what was to come. I knew we were going to get to see my boy, my sweet boy there, my sweet boy Law. I knew because we saw him do this on Saboti, and I could smell it in the air. I could smell it. I was sniffing the manga when I was reading it.
I was bet you were.
Just for traces of his scent.
What does he smell like?
He smells like, I would say he smells kind of like an operating room. Like when you go, like kind of like latex a little bit too, from, yeah. But like from the gloves,
Oh, okay.
But he smells kind of sterile, but like, that the smell of sterile, like a hospital room, kind of would smell. He kind of smells like that, like because he's a surgeon too. He's very clean. But it's a very sterile smell, but it's good. It's really good.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
Law smells like latex.
Yeah, he smells like latex. And that powder that's on the latex too, to keep people who have sweaty hands.
The powder, right.
From, letting them get it in there.
The powder.
Yeah. This was cool too, and I kind of didn't expect to see this because they do end up putting the head back together, and that is obviously the head. A lot of it you see all the pieces kind of coming together, literally. But he is the samurai again. I was shocked only because I do feel like, I don't know for certain, but I do feel like this is a samurai that they either meet again or maybe stays with them for a while. I don't know. But I was shocked that he was introduced here. And they put him back together. He hates pirates, and he is there to save his son. He's an honorable man, a man of honor. And we find out a little bit more about Wano just from the context clues that he gives us based on, certain people that he meets, like Nami. And he sees her laboons, and he's like, that is so disgraceful.
Yeah,
for
how
a woman
dare
to have
you?
her laboons out like that.
How dare you?
Yeah.
She was like, what? You're ahead. Bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
Like a freaking...
You're ahead, but you're also a little behind.
Ooh.
Yeah. You like that one?
That was really good. Yeah. You're
ahead.
You're a numbskull.
I like it.
You must have
Still going.
You still must be you're what are you You're like a chicken with no head running around.
All right, we're done. Anyway, so yeah. Frankie bursts out of that bitch. Ain't no problem for him. All right. It was like, oh, no one's going to get it. No one can get out of here. Frankie's like, I just drank. I'm full on cola.
Let's go.
Yeah. Step aside. Give me a sec. Let me do this. And he does it. And
Frank's on the bitch, no problem.
No problem. And then they burst into a daycare with some big kids, some little kids, all kind of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Big
all
kids,
sizes.
All shapes and sizes.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Some are freaking huge kids. And you're thinking like, giant kids, this and that. That was the one thing too, they're in a facility, right? So you obviously know that these kids are being experimented on, they're being tested on, whatever. That's something that didn't I don't think it was supposed to be this huge twist or whatever at all. But, I obviously they're in this facility, they're being experimented on. I assume from the beginning that they were all at one point normal kids that were given that they were running tests on to turn into giant people.
I didn't think anything of it because it's One Piece. I was like, oh, they have giant kids in here too.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Testing on all types of kids, but no, they were given that.
I mean, I just had a feeling. And I got lucky. Luffy, and we're starting to find out too. Obviously, we said the fallout of this is the fallout of Akainu and Aokichi's fight. So they're on the Luffy's on
dwelling ground.
The dwelling ground. Luffy's gang is on the cold side, and they see a facility that's been destroyed, and they see a bird lady flying up in the sky, or they don't see it, but the bird lady sees them and is watching them, and she looks awesome. I think her name is Monet. The bird harpy woman.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
Harpy. You can't go wrong with the harpy.
You can't. We see a couple of cool moments with Usopp. We see more of his green star, his green stars.
And I liked in SBS Oda showed where he plants his seeds.
Oh.
Which is near Robin's garden, Nami's tangerines, and he has a little area because obviously that's his thing now.
Bro, I am so dumb. I'm so dumb.
Why?
Because I was literally damn, what happens when Usopp runs out of seeds? And I thought damn, Usopp, you got to be more sparing with these. You got to use them more sparingly
with these plants.
Yeah, because you run out, then what? But I'm an idiot because I never even thought, you just plant seeds to get more seeds.
Or plant seeds to get the...
They get the plants to get the seeds.
Yeah.
Fucking genius. It's never ending ammunition.
It's the fruit of his labor.
Yeah. I'm dumb.
Or a vegetable.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, everybody split up. Brook didn't get taken because they thought Brook was dead. Very funny. Very cool.
They're like, these straw hats are crazy. These have a skeleton that they've had on their ship. How long have they had this to let decompose? They're savages.
Savages.
Yeah.
Ruthless. He he's up and about. He fights a torso. Obviously the torso of the samurai. The Navy gets there. And they're greeted at the front door by Law.
Woo! This was badass.
It's just his pose, dude. The way he's leaning, the way he's holding that whole structure up.
Oh yeah, he's a bad boy.
He's a bad.
He's like, "What are you
boy.
doing here?" And he's like, "I can ask you the same thing."
Yeah,
it's matching that energy,
Yeah, but that's something else later. You kind of touched a little bit on something else that they say later. That again, gave me a little inkling, or my ears kind of perked up a little bit when I heard this because it gave me. It excited me for what's to come in the future. But first of all, Law, you want to talk about character design, you want to talk about post-time skip shit. Law looks sick no matter what he is in. His first hat and his first hoodie that we meet him in, fire. The man's got swag. And seeing him again here in this robe with this this hat that's a little different. Pulling it off. He's wearing the fuck out of these clothes. I just hope that I'm doing even the slightest bit of justice because nobody can rock it like that man. The robes don't drape over anybody else's body the same way.
True. It's very true.
I love it, dude. I love everything this man is in. He's probably got he's the drippiest One Piece character of all. The drippiest.
Damn.
Yeah.
Heavy statement.
Dude, and he's got the swagger to back it up. But I liked this a lot. This is where you find out he's a warlord. Smoker starts kind of questioning him. You know, we intercepted a distress call or a conversation that the Straw Hats had. You're known to have helped Luffy during the Paramount War. You were seen kind of leaving with him. You also were seen at Sabaody with him. And Luffy's like, Law's like, this is my vacation home, dude. I'm just kind of relaxing over here.
I'm like, yeah, this is a great vacation home, Law, you freaking freak. Like, what a cover. At
the same time, yeah, this is something that really shocked me, and I'm glad that it kind of seems to have kind of unfolded the way that it did. Was at first, and I think again this is very purposeful, but loving Law as much as I do at this point, still didn't know much about him. So when I'm introduced to him in this setting, seeming to lie about and cover up what's going on in this facility, I'm thinking the first thought I thought was like, oh man,
not a good look. I wrote I wrote that down too. I was like, damn, Law.
Yeah.
You really doing this, huh?
And I know they're pirates, and I know their alliances will be formed, but ultimately they at the end of the day, at the end of the line, they are going to be, adversaries in one way or another. But I was like, damn, dude, like
kids?
I didn't kids, Law? Kids?
Damn, really? That's what we're doing?
But all was not what it seemed. Team Frankie is what I've dubbed them, because Frankie's the best.
Yeah, Team Frankie. I like they love how he's a robot.
Oh, everybody, the kids, everybody's obsessed. Yeah, they escape.
Right where Smoker, Tashigi, and Law are all at.
Yeah.
They finally get out and they're like, oh, what did we walk into?
Yeah. Yikes.
Yikes. Ooh. Laugh track.
Yeah. Insert laugh track. This is where we see Law's op fruit on full display. We got to see a little of it in Sabaody, but we get to see way more of it here. And one of the coolest things ever is that this man can steal people's hearts. Number one, he
stole your heart. He stole your heart. That's why you've been obsessed with him ever since you saw him on that page. He stole your heart away. He has it locked in a box. You are forever indebted to him.
He did steal my heart. Wow. Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my God, you're blushing.
He did, huh?
Yeah.
This man, he can body swap. He could do all these things. Like, it seems to be, and I know this might be obvious to everybody else who's caught up, or maybe obvious to everybody else who's reading it along with us and is discovering this as we discover it. But to me now, I get the more of an understanding that the way his op fruit works is it seems to be that anything that happens in this bubble that he creates, it's pretty much his domain, and he can pretty much alter anything as he sees fit within this bubble. He can dissect people while still keeping them alive. He can fuse objects to other objects like he did with the ship to the rocks. He can, like I said, body swap. He can steal people's hearts and keep them alive. It's the op fruit, operation fruit. He can, he can kind of do anything and everything. Like anybody in this bubble is operating under the rules of his sort of world, the law.
It's his law.
World. It's his law. And yeah, pretty awesome to see him, like I said, do that thing with the ship. The other Navy men were like, it's a skull. It looks like a sculpture.
A sculpture.
And he's out there just, sending people flying. And even Tashigi, he cuts her in half.
Yeah, and they're like straight up like, we can't win this.
Yeah, they're
let's
like,
turn back. Let's get away.
Bro, Law fucked them up. Like all of them up.
Oh yeah.
Like a whole fleet of Navy men headed by Smoker and Tashigi.
One person.
Fucked them up.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
He's strong as shit.
Yeah, these 2 years have been pretty nice to Law too. But this was so sick, dude. And this is what I wanted to talk about, which you kind of touched on a little bit, is he says something to Smoker around this time, or Smoker says something to Law about, what are you even doing here? Like, what are you covering up? Like, what are you covering up? And what is your real motive, or what are you really trying to do? And Law says, and I think you could miss this, but Law says, like, I'm going to turn that same question on you and say, like, kind of like, what are you guys covering up and what are you guys trying to do? Meaning that I feel like Law is ultimately there because it's still in part one. We don't fully understand why, but because the government, I mean, obviously other than to take out a warlord or an emperor, but I think that the government is up to something there. Whether Law thinks that Caesar Clown is still affiliated with the government, but Law, I think, to some extent.
Well, that's what he said, right? He said, they're turning children into like giants so they could have like soldiers, pretty much. But I wouldn't understand that, because if they have the pacifistas, why would they need more giants?
Well, I mean, come on, you can never go an army of giants and pacifistas. I mean,
they'll be unstoppable, yeah.
But also, this guy, and I'm pretty sure it's common knowledge that this guy has been sort of. This Caesar Clown guy has been sort of disowned by the government. This guy is no longer recognized and has kind of been outcast. And I think he's working for this like criminal underground. And so I think that, I'm sure that Law is aware that there are people, obviously his connection to Joker, who we find out the real identity of later, but he knows that these people, these government people kind of seem to have their hands in some of this underground shady shit too. But I also think that maybe even on the surface, he's like, what is the Navy planning? What is the military planning? What are you guys doing? And he's trying to kind of get ahead of that, or trying to kind of stop that. Awesome. This was like a highlight of this part for me.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Luffy's over there fighting centaurs. He defeats Brownbeard with the help of Brook. And there's a funny moment where they're freezing their asses off. And they see the army of centaurs, and they're like, well, if we fight them, we could take their clothes.
Yeah, I love how they're betting on each other. They're like, okay, well, I'll get the one on the right, and you get the one, I have dibs on the coat on the left. And yeah, it was really funny to see them like get finally to the other side from the like sharks, and the shark like biting Zorro. He's like, oh, there's like sharks in here.
Yeah. And
then I love Robin's little like vision of like how they're gonna get across. Like Luffy and Robin are going to be on Zorro and Usopp's back, and they're just like, she's just like, they're just like smiling on their backs. Yeah, that was funny. That was so funny. Just to kind of power through some of this stuff, because then of course Team Frankie gets body swapped. That gets a little confusing, but it could have been a lot more confusing. We get Law obviously switches Tashigi and Smoker. Again, like I mentioned, that was a highlight body switch to me, to see them in each other's places. We now see the head and legs rejoined, and everybody kind of reconvenes after this battle in this cave, right? After, Luffy and his gang have defeated the centaurs, and after Team Frankie has been body swapped in the fight with the Navy. After all of this, everybody kind of comes together and meets in this cave. And while that is happening, it is revealed. We get the reveal of Caesar Clown, and Smoker and Tashigi are talking about a mole in G5, because they have said that Tashigi, because of her position, has said that they still don't really know what's 100% going on at this facility. This facility and this island is supposed to be completely off limits. No one is supposed to be here. This is supposed to be shut off from everything. That's why Aokiji and Akainu thought it was the perfect place to fight, because of an incident that took place, X amount of years ago. So Tashigi recalls that there's been some kids going missing, and kidnapped, but every time it makes it to the newspapers, it says that there was some sort of accident. Yeah, accident. They drowned. They went into the sea. Yeah. And all the parents are like, how could that be? I just turn around and they're gone. Like, how could they die? Like, how could they have gone in this? Like, they were just playing in the yard. So obviously something's happening, and people are fudging the numbers when it comes to these kidnappings or like deaths or whatever, accidental deaths.
Yeah. So they know that there's a mole in G5. but they don't know who exactly it is. I also failed to mention that there was a really cool moment when Law and Luffy saw each other again for the first time since the events of, I think maybe, Luffy was kind of a little out of it when Law came to help him, but since Sabaody, and obviously Luffy is very aware that Law was the reason that he was able to recover as much as he recovered after the Paramount War. So when he sees Law, he's very excited and happy and calls him like Traffy or something like that.
Yeah.
Trafalgar.
Traffy. And he's like, oh, I'm so happy I met you and Jinbei.
Yeah.
So happy. He kept like stressing that. And I was like,
Yeah, he's really, I think,
head over heels.
Well, he's a little head over heels. Yeah, it looks like Law stole his heart too. But he's also just super grateful. And I think he's super indebted to Law because of, like, again, the events of the aftermath of the war. And of course, Sabaody.
He's got to pay him back. He's got to pay everyone back.
He's got to pay him back, yeah, for sure. But I think he also I think he fell in love like on Sabaody. In that moment where it was the three captains, where it was like him, Kid, and Luffy, which is still one of the craziest and coolest panels. I think that's when Luffy fell in love. I think that's when he fell in love.
Like, Law's dope.
Law is sick.
Yeah, he's screaming.
Join my crew.
Yeah, and I don't think we mentioned that the kids are with the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
But they're like freezing their asses off.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're not gonna make it, and it's so sad. And they eventually we find out that our samurai got devil fruit.
Yeah, that was really funny, and kind of unexpected.
Yeah, I
guess.
didn't expect that.
But he can basically, and again, I might be a little off, but from what I understand,
he could just make inanimate objects, or like.
Yeah, from what I understand, it seems that he could take inanimate objects that he tells
like
people to hold over their head, like a leaf, a rock, whatever, and he could turn them into clothes. I don't know if clothes are the extent of what he could turn these things into. I like the rule though, just the thought behind it, just the attention to detail of like, but if you, at the moment you take these off, they're not
turn back
real. They turn back or they disappear. And also just the idea or the perception of what devil fruits are in Wano, like sorcery and magic, and the way that they talk about them versus how the Straw Hats and everybody else kind of talks about them.
Yeah.
That was cool too.
Yeah, that was super funny. They're like, why would you not say anything before?
Yeah,
like,
why is this just coming up now?
We've been freezing our asses off this whole time.
And he said, well, because I hated you. And I didn't want to.
And by this time, I mean, him and Sanji already have, like, they've been bickering this whole time. He's a really funny character. He has some really funny moments.
He's a really cool character. Once they're in here, that's when, of course, Brownbeard is tied up. And they, he tells them about the worst generation, and tells them how, this story about he got to this, how he got to this island, and his relationship with Caesar Clown, and how he's indebted to him, and he's his savior, and that, he was cut in half or whatever by Law, I assume, or lost his legs, and a bunch of his crew lost their legs.
Yeah.
And
they all lost their legs.
No, I don't think it was by Law. I don't think it was by Law, actually, but because Law comes later.
It was because of the explosion. Remember, they were doing that testing.
Oh, right.
And whoever was left.
Right. I'm dumb, yeah.
Yeah, whoever was left on the island was just like left for dead pretty much. And they were able to like survive. They did survive, but there was like definitely some issues with their body. Like they couldn't use their legs anymore.
Right, yes.
And they couldn't walk, or, other deformities, I guess. And then he was able to help them. And Law, that's where Law comes in. Law switched their bodies.
Because Caesar Clown gave him like hot air balloons. He gave him like floaties with balloons attached to him. Yeah, they're like floating around. And then when Law got there, he's like, give my guys better legs.
Yeah, give my guys giraffe legs. Like, what happened to where's all the other animals with freaking halves of their bodies? They're in a freaking room?
Or in a room.
They couldn't be dead.
Oh, that's true. They're alive.
Oh,
they're alive somewhere. Yikes.
Yeah, that's dark. But yeah.
So they have this, and then he tells them this touching story, and you're like, yeah, okay.
Okay,
Brownbeard. But that's where Chopper, in Sanji's body at this point, I believe, is diagnosing the kids and finds out that they've been given this stimulant that's made them grow, that they all got there, and that they were all normal-sized children.
NHC10. It's going to be important.
I wrote it down as I wrote the stimulant down too, but I think I wrote it down different than that. Whatever. Maybe I was wrong. I'll get there. We'll get there.
Or maybe that's the candy. What's in the candy? I could be mistaken. But
either way, I do feel like the chemical, whatever it is important. And you're probably
what turned it big.
Yeah, you're probably right. You are most of the time. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. If anybody is wrong more often on this show, it's me, and I'll accept that. I'll take that.
That's not true.
Anyway.
That's okay. Moving on.
This is when we find out the kids are hooked on candy.
Hooked on candy.
But
they're itching.
Before we linger on the candy thing and the addiction thing, I want to ask you
about your addiction.
About your addiction. I want to talk to you about it. I feel like the podcast was the perfect place to bring it up because I feel like you would avoid it.
I can't. I'm leaving.
I just feel this is not an intervention.
It's just like really right like here.
I just feel like if anytime I try to talk to you about it outside of this podcast.
Because it's not. I don't have a problem.
Hold up your hands to the camera right now. Hold them up. And show everybody, just in case they can't see what's in front of you right now, a Red Bull. Red Bull Mehgan is back. You were clean off of it. For, I'd say, probably about 6 months.
But I hotched back on the saddle.
But the sweet, sweet sound of Red Bull calling your name, you succumbed to it once again.
I did. And I think
you heard it sing its siren song and you couldn't help yourself.
I think I'm back.
You floated over to it like a cartoon, like with pie in the window. You know what I'm saying? You're floating on.
I was like, it gave me wings.
Yeah. And gave you a heart condition.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Could though.
It could. It definitely could. That's why I stopped.
Just kidding. Yeah. Who's your favorite body swap? Straw Hat. Let's just say our favorite. I think we might have the same favorite.
Chopper.
Because they put my favorite Straw Hat with, aside from Luffy, with Megan's favorite Straw Hat. This is our dream. This is the Done Piece mascot right here.
It really is.
Chopper and Frankie.
I drew a picture of Chopper. You could probably see Luffy at the bottom too.
And that Luffy is maybe the best thing she's ever drawn.
It really is. I was shocked. I was like, okay.
I was like, when did Oda come over and draw in your notebook?
I'm really proud of this Chopper right here. It's so funny. And I love the bit with Robin. She's like, okay, don't.
Yeah, don't ever
talk like that again. Do not do this, please, Frankie. Like, stop. And I don't know how much of that was like, she was like, oh, I want Chopper to be cute, but she was like, my man's in Chopper's body. Like, I don't know how I feel about this, you know?
Yeah. She felt a little weird. She felt a little confused.
Because she's like, that's my baby, but that's my baby now.
That's my baby in my baby's body. And I don't do that again. That's confusing.
Yeah.
That really confuses me.
I think that was like canon. Like
you could see it.
Totally.
You could totally see it in their faces.
Totally.
In her face.
In her mortified face. Don't ever do that again.
The kids being addicted to candy was very fucked up. Extremely fucked up. But, I don't know why it's fucked up. But I don't know why it didn't like At this point, I've seen the Celestial Dragons. At this point, just seeing the sort of just what the people of Fishman Island have had to go through and endure. This is a terrible thing to give any child an addictive substance.
Just a child, but also just like any just like it happens in real life too. Like people are taken and they're given drugs so that if they escape, like the withdrawal is like way too much for them to handle, so they just go back to where they were because of what they're given in small doses, big doses, whatever. But that happens so often, and it's like, well, why don't you just leave? And it's like, okay, well, I literally the chemicals in my body are telling me I can't because of this thing. So I did like that a lot. I was not expecting it to go there. And again, with like the Celestial Dragons and like obviously they were slaves, so they couldn't necessarily have that much of a say to do anything, but at least they still like knew what was happening was fucked up. Like they weren't kids that were addicted to something because they wanted to leave, and the minute they started going through withdrawals, they're like, I want to go back. Let's just go back. So it's like, how many times did that happen?
The Celestial Dragons were the celestial dragons were taking kids as slaves.
No, I know. That's why I said there was kids slaves, but they weren't making them addicted to drugs.
You don't know they were feeding kids devil fruits. Remember the implication of that a commenter pointed out to us that fucked our day up?
Yeah, that was bad.
Only because of how like the implications of it, not in a bad way. It was like the implications of that were like, yikes.
Yeah, why?
Big yikes. They were, I would say, that's equally fucked up.
Yeah.
Kidnapping, taking slaves.
I like this part.
All very fucked up things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like in the grand scheme of, I think the first couple times we saw it in One Piece, it was like shocking to feel like, oh wow, this is happening in the world of One Piece. But I've kind of become numb to it, where I'm like, or not numb, but I just like now I'm like, this doesn't surprise. This tracks. That this kind of fucked up shit is happening in One Piece. I think if I would have read this around the time of Sabaody, I would have been like, what? This is crazy. But now we've seen so many horrible things happen in this world that you're like, yeah, this tracks. But then we get Sanji, Zorro, and Brook. They go after the samurai. The head, now that it has legs, it's off. It's off to the races, dude. It's gone. Sanji now feels sort of connected, responsible for this head. And so Brook, being the one who fought the torso, is like, tell us. He probably went to go look for the torso because you told him where it was at. So let's kind of go where you told him it was at and let's help him out, because if anything happens to him, it's going to be on me. And honestly, I don't know how everybody else feels about this, and they might come back and play a bigger part in the second part, but it does feel like they kind of serve their purpose here. I would not be surprised at all if they return, but this is where we first meet the Yeti Cool brothers. And
Scotch and Rock,
who I thought were gonna do more than they ended up doing.
Yeah, they were just like kind of there.
Don't get me wrong, they're very cool, and I love their designs. And
they're cool.
They're cool brothers.
Because they say that one of them says that a lot.
I love them, and I think that they're really cool. Yeah.
We'll see probably more of them. Maybe, right? They'll probably come back.
I hope so. I just feel like they were amped up to be these
crazy,
immovable forces.
That's kind of always how it is. And then they like get mashed with the Straw Hats and they're like, oh, I guess we're not shit.
That's true. I do hope they come back. Again, I did like them, but I just wish they were, I don't know. I wish it felt like they either did more or presented a little bit more of a challenge. But I also get what you said. Yeah, anybody against the Straw Hats at this point does feel like, they're kind of reduced to nothing.
And another highlight, I mean, so funny, like Frankie and Chopper's bodies, like, Chopper, give me some of them beans. Like, give me some of them beans. Like, you mean rumble balls? Like, no, like, you take it when you need it. Like, don't take it because you only have, 3 minutes to be a beast and you can't control it. You wouldn't be able to handle it. The first thing he does is like pop it because he's just
right away.
My body is my body. He says like no repercussions or anything. And the whole time Luffy's trying to fight these brothers, he's just getting whooped by Chopper, aka Frankie, right now. Yeah. So hilarious. He's like, you're doing more damage to you than even the brothers. Like, so funny.
Yeah, that was very funny to see. I like Nami Frankie too.
Oh yeah,
I think Nami Frankie was really cool.
Yeah, they're like, you're just scared. He's like, why don't you guys go?
I think it's and I also think it's funny to put Nami in Frankie's body because Nami is the one person maybe outside of Robin, but I would say Nami is the most, even more so than Robin, person who is like the least impressed by. I mean, I think she is obviously very grateful to have Frankie there to do the things that he does, and I'm sure does marvel at what he's done to himself. But I think, when everybody else has stars in their eyes, she's like, can we just like, can we move on? Can we just, we just do anything?
Did you see that SBS where like Oda kind of explained that?
The stars in their eyes?
No, like Robin and Nami just like not giving a fuck about.
I assume it's just because like boys care more about that shit. Yeah.
Exactly. They're like, they're girls. They like clothes and makeup. I was like, okay, Oda, fucking chill. I was like, that's the navigator of your ship. Fucking calm down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, damn, okay. Like boys just like that more because girls just like frills. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, maybe at this point, but Nami has a great appreciation for Frankie, and Robin has an even greater appreciation.
Oh, she does.
She's got a different appreciation, and we're making that canon on this show.
Canon.
We're making that. What is it? The Gao canon? What are we making
Gao?
it?
Gao canon? What's that?
Maybe I confused
the hell is
Kingdom
that?
of Gao for the canon, the coup d'event,
Coup d'event.
Anyway, I took a swing. So this is when we cut to Law and Caesar, and we hear a little bit about their first deal. And their first deal, you're like, thank God Law's not this like horrible. He's got a little, his moral log pose is a little askew from necessarily, or doesn't exactly line up with the Straw Hats. But
when he's talking about the kids or whatever, he's like, okay, I don't like that. That's not my style. I don't like your style. I'm out of here. Bye.
Yeah. I needed this. This. This put me at ease. Because
I bet it did. It did for me too. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, he doesn't flow that way. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we see that Law does have morals, some, and is not for any of this. He has just taken this deal. This is the first deal we hear. We hear about some other things, some other
deals,
stipulations, or terms to this deal later. But at this point, it's just because Law has some stuff that he wants to figure out there. He wants to be able to roam around this facility freely to discover and to find and to see whatever he wants to see. Something. He's
searching for something.
And that is still something we don't know yet, but I feel like will be somewhat either more alluded to or even revealed in the second half of this. The Yeti brothers come to kill, everybody. We already talked about that. We already kind of talked a little bit about the Chopper Berserker Frankie moment. It's cool, this moment. I wrote this down because I really did want to talk about this. Luffy talked about how when he was on that island, Ray Lee taught him how to aim the projectiles that are shot at him. So instead of bullets or any other projectiles being shot at him and he just kind of deflects them erratically, he now has this little sniper eye and can shoot them wherever he chooses to not waste them. And I thought that was just a really cool thing to know that Luffy has that in his back pocket now, in his toolbox now. Law comes to save the day at the end of all this, and that's when he tells Luffy that he has a plan to take down one of the 4 emperors. He asks Luffy to join him in an alliance, which of course Luffy is inclined to because of how he views Law and how he's very grateful to Law, just like he's very grateful to Jinbei.
And everyone's like, no.
Yeah.
Everyone. I don't think there was one person that said it's a good idea.
Well, I think mostly it was out of fear, and a lot of it came from Usopp about not wanting to be the target of an emperor, or one of the 4 emperors.
I mean, they kind of already are going to be because they sent an explosive device to Big Mom. So,
yeah, but I think
another one.
Exactly. I think Usopp's like,
see, then that's maybe then it might be another emperor.
But I don't even think that maybe they know the way it seemed. Maybe Law said it loud enough for everybody to hear. Either way, they didn't reveal who it was. But maybe Luffy was the only one that heard it. But that could be if everybody did hear it. That could be another reason why, that could be another reason why everybody was like, not 2. They didn't say that, but maybe they reacted that way because they were secretly feeling like, Luffy, no way. Like, we already have 1 on our ass.
That they're going to be going to.
So I don't know. But the fact that Law and the Straw Hats are forming an alliance. I mean, I cannot tell you how happy this makes me.
I bet. I know. I was like reading and I was like, Josh is going to freak the fuck out.
The fact that Law and the Straw Hats are forming an alliance. I can't say it's music to my ears. We don't get to see a lot of Law's crew here. So that's kind of like also a little bit of a mystery to me.
I can't wait to see, what is it, Beppo, Beppo, so cute.
With the rest of the gang. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. His crew is asked about, but he doesn't give much information about where they are, what they're doing. I don't know if they're in danger, if something happened to his crew, if they're just waiting for him somewhere. I don't know. But that is also something that I'm interested to find out as well.
You know what I thought? That the brothers, like, they were 2 people of his crew.
The brother. Oh, you thought that?
Yeah, because one of them looked like it was like a snout. and I thought it was like the polar bear, Beppo.
Oh, yeah, but there's no way. I mean, because they've said they are said to have,
Yetis?
they're Yetis, and they have said to have been there for a long time and to have this like reputation since I
guess that's true.
Since I think Caesar Clown got there or whatever, at least.
Yeah, I just like to see any and all possibilities.
And that's what,
One Piece does that shit. Oda be doing that.
And that's why
it's my theory. It's my canon. I'm just kidding.
And that's why you end up being right about things that I would have never thought, because you're taking swings. And
I'm
sometimes
taking swings and I miss.
Every now and then you hit something. But I don't think you hit anything here other than me in the head. Yeah, this was really, really awesome. A highlight moment. And I didn't even, it's so funny that you, again, pirates and alliances, these are things that you just, for whatever reason, don't ever expect to see. And when you do see it, it just makes my heart warm. I can't wait for this alliance. And I can't wait for the other alliances that we got to see form in this part as well.
I mean, we're seeing alliances. We're seeing territories being, announced, taken over, pirates. Like, it's going off. It's going off.
Yeah. Just to power through this, again, we see Law put everybody back in their body except for Nami and Sanji, who have now been... Nami's been put in Sanji's body, and Sanji's still in Nami's body because they're separated. But he agrees to Law's plan, which Law doesn't really explain fully. He says, we need to get there and we need to kidnap Caesar Clown. But as soon as we do, that's when things are going to start moving. So you need to be ready. All your crew needs to be on board. And Luffy says, okay, well, you're going to help us save these kids then. We're an alliance, right? Like we help each other.
He's
so
like,
you're going to have to help us.
Okay, I guess.
This is another cool moment too. I don't know if it was actually ever, stated before, but Law says that they're going to need people who are hockey users because of this Logia type devil fruit user that they're going to be fighting against. And I don't know if it was ever mentioned before, but this is the first time in my memory that it was actually officially stated that Zorro and Sanji are now hockey users.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Sick.
That's awesome. That was just a cool thing. And again, maybe we already knew that, but that was the first time I was like, oh wait, what? Damn.
And is this where we learn? Did we already learn the name of the samurai?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet.
So
Got
yes, this is this is where Law and Chopper go off to the lab. Enter the giant slime. Smiley that ate the sala fruit.
Smiley.
Super cute. I know you love axolotls.
Yeah, it was very cute. Very cute reveal.
This is, I think I wrote it down somewhere, but if I didn't, then I'll do my best to paraphrase, I guess. But it is basically the incarnation of this disaster. We find out that Caesar Clown was Vegapunk and his kind of island. Mm-hmm. Caesar Clown is the person that destroyed this island, that created this toxic gas, this toxic sort of explosion, and that he has taken those fumes, taken that explosion, and kind of condensed it and gave it this devil fruit, and now created this thing, which he wants to be another island-destroying weapon that he can sell on the black market, and he's going to make it more effective because obviously last time, like Brownbeard's crew, they were able to survive. So he says, this time I want to make sure nobody survives.
This time no one's getting out.
Yeah.
Not one. Not one centaur. Not one
centaur.
Not
leg. One dragon.
Mm-hmm. They're all done.
They're all done. We see
that on the island too. I mean, he let it loose. He's like, everyone's dead.
Well, there was that Brownbeard moment too, where the Yeti brothers, Brownbeard overheard that that Caesar Clown gave them the order to kill him too. I just, whatever. I didn't really care. I was like, okay.
He was so distraught. He was like, but my master.
It was some great betrayal. I was like, your boss, your savior is the villain from Fern Gully, dude.
He's kidnapping children. And testing. Okay.
Well, I think there was a specific line where they said that they're not allowed or they don't go in the lab, so they don't kind of know what's happening.
Oh, they don't know. Yeah.
But he saw the children there. I mean, in the cave, he saw them in there. So
it's like, bruh.
Anyway. A cool moment, this is where Nami Sanji dives in the water to go find the other half of the torso. We get a cool Luffy versus Caesar moment. Luffy not being affected by poison.
That's so funny. He's like monologuing and he's like grabs him. He's like, got you. And he's like, oh shit. Cause you're not supposed to grab him.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to unless
Or
you're a
not
powerful
able
hockey.
to, yeah.
Unless you're a powerful hockey user, and then he unleashes this poisonous gas, and Luffy's just like, and Luffy snorts it all up, and he's like, that was pretty good.
He gets a little too cocky though.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, but it's cool that it's not just gas, right? That he can do all these other things, and we see him kind of have like a little Vader moment where he chokes out.
Oh yeah,
Nami and Usopp.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back and he tells the kids like, if you want more candy, you better come back to my facility with me.
And they're like, yes, let's go, breaking out of these chains, because they chained him up because they were gonna like escape because they were getting riled up.
Yeah, and they're super strong when they're riled up.
And I forget her name. Coco? Is it Coco? The girl's name?
The girl, the child?
Yeah, the like main child. Dang it, I forgot. Momo, I think it's Momo. It might be Momo.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but she's like, as they're going back into the facility, she kind of realizes what they did, because they were like slapping around the Straw Hats, like, let go of me. Blah, blah, blah.
I understand. I mean, trust me, I understand addiction. All right. Recovering alcoholic, sober for 3 years. Hold your applause. Thank you so much. Also got an uncle that lives in Mexico who's addicted to heroin. All right. I understand addiction. But it was frustrating in a story, in a narrative sense, to have like them just like do so much work to free these kids. These kids go through withdrawals, go back to the facility, and not realize until the door is locked that oh fuck, we fucked up.
It was only one,
we want to go
though.
back now. No, but it was the one who started it. And then the other kids were like, come on, like, don't you want candy? And she's like, remember those people who helped us? And they all kind of like are like, oh, fuck, yeah.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Fuck. Like, we got to get out of here. But the door's locked. You're like, God damn it. If you would have had this epiphany a minute earlier.
Yeah, you could have definitely hit those guards up, Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah, they Luffy and Caesar have a little bit of a fight. Luffy is, I can't remember exactly how he's defeated, but, Law gets double-crossed because he's in there with Chopper. He leaves Chopper in there, Monet's in there. There's like an interaction between Law and Monet, and Law tries to lure Monet out into this hall so Chopper can kind of do what he needs to do.
He's like, you're coming with me, and she's like, oh, a date, like how fun. And he's like,
yeah.
And she's like, okay, you're
she
literally
fucking wishes.
Fun. Yeah, she does.
She really does.
Yeah, but he was like, okay, like shut. Like he was just so.
And he's
over
like,
it.
yeah, and he's like, I know you wish. But this is where Law gets kind of double crossed, I guess. Maybe not technically, but by Virgo. Who is a vice admiral and base commander of G5, the Mole himself. The Mole himself. A couple of interesting lines of dialogue were dropped here as well. He talks about Law, how much you've grown.
Yeah.
Seeming to be that he hasn't seen Law in a very long time, probably since he was a child. So maybe, him and Law go way, 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 way back.
Or it's just like in 2 years, maybe.
Or maybe in 2 years. Yeah. And we get another line later that I think was a little interesting when we find out the identity of Joker that involves Law too, that we'll talk about when we get there. But now that, Sanji Nami has gone down and retrieved the torso, the samurai is now completely put back together and is revealed to be Foxfire Kinemon. And there is no fire that he cannot cut.
That was sick.
That was sick.
That was so sick.
I love this man.
Yeah.
Foxfire is sick.
He's goated a little bit.
He's a little bit of an opposite of an internet browser, Firefox. but he is
Firefox
sick.
even a thing anymore?
You know what's so funny is sometimes I still use Firefox, and people give me shit for it. But I know Google has a lot of Chrome has a lot of plugins now too. But I feel like Firefox, you could get a lot of plugins and a lot of things that you can't get on Chrome. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm set in my ways. Maybe I'm just
like the fox. You like the logo?
I'm not a huge. I mean, the only
you don't like the logo?
The logo's cool, and like foxes in general, I guess the only like connection I have to foxes is Fox and the Hound. One of the greatest movies of all time.
Naruto.
The Nine-Tailed Fox. Yeah, I mean the Nine-Tailed Fox is cool, but I would say the Nine-Tailed Fox is cool. But outside of that, the Nine-Tailed Fox is Tails a fox?
I think he is.
Okay,
he's
Mehgan.
like a Kinutse.
Oh yeah.
That's like another fox with the 9 tails. So he's kind of, he's like the tails.
Mehgan, you're really fucking me up right now, and I appreciate it.
Fox News? You love Fox News?
Okay, chill. Okay, chill. But I guess there are a couple foxes that I like.
A couple. Yeah.
You like Foxy, okay?
You like Foxy too from FNAF.
I like Foxy from FNAF, but you like Foxy from Long Ring Long Land.
Oh, I do. That's the one fox I like.
A lot of foxes that I didn't know.
So
Swiper, I like Swiper.
Unpopular opinion.
I mean, I like him as
like
a villain.
Theft.
You
like theft.
A younger me had sticky fingers, okay? Because I was anti, establishment, dude. So, maybe I connected, maybe I empathized with Swiper. We didn't get to see Swiper.
He stole from little girls.
Okay, but he was a fox, dude. And maybe Dora came from a fucking rich family. I didn't see the Dora live action movie, but it seemed like she was set up pretty nice, dude. I didn't see it, but it seemed with her backstory and her in high school or whatever, with her and Miguel, but it seemed like she had a pretty comfy life. So maybe Swiper living in the woods had to just get what was his. Okay? That's the thing. We bully people like Swiper all the time. We say, Swiper, no swiping. But then cut to Swiper going home to his cub. That's freaking ribs are showing because he hasn't ate in 3, or 4 or 5 days because daddy hasn't swiped in a long time.
It's just the way he does it. The smugness about the swiping.
There's the Fantastic Mr. Fox. There's a lot of cool fox.
Yeah, you like foxes.
I guess I kind of do, but I don't know. It just seems like I don't know. It seems like I don't know. I'm learning about myself.
You really are. You sound very confused. Foxfire is sick. Again, like these abilities that he has is really cool, and him having a devil fruit is, cool too. And also, Law's, again, to go back to Law's devil fruit, it's like really, really cool that what it opens up. Like what he can do for the Straw Hats in the future, what they can get away with.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like I still feel like there are things that he can do that we still haven't seen yet. Of course, when the big explosion happened in Foxfire cuts through it, I was like, this is the dopest thing ever. This guy's fucking awesome. I want him to always be around. But it also cuts at this point back to the parents. There's another, person from G5 who seems a little corrupt, who is on the island, and it's left vague. The parents of some island in the New World that are looking for their kids, that are saying like, you're covering it up. So we do know now that the parents are aware and are concerned and are actively trying to look for their children, but the government is kind of telling them
they're dead.
They're dead. Like, chill out. You're gonna
How many times have we told
some
them?
Consequences if you keep asking. And like we said, Caesar comes for the kids. Smiley, does what Smiley does. He wreaks some havoc. He also kind of looked like Muck a little bit,
Oh yeah.
And then we get the reveal that Joker is Doflamingo. And Law talks about a time that he worked for him. I don't know when this was because we don't know like how far they go back, like if this was in the 2-year, time skip period, if this was from before. Obviously on Saboti, we've seen little bits of Doflamingo here and there. We saw him during the Paramount War, during Marine 4. We saw him he was referred to during Saboti and the auction house.
Yep.
He seems to have a deal with another person high up the ranks when he tried to get Moria to join forces with him. So I know that he plays a part in Dressrosa, and I cannot wait to find out more about him and to find out more about Law's connection with him. But the fact that they have a connection at all was very surprising to me. Yeah,
he has connections just like Luffy. I feel like he's connected to everyone, Doflamingo.
He kind of is. He's got the connect too. And Doflamingo looks like he's got the connect.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's got some crazy shit.
Yeah. I'm really working hard to find and get ready and prepare for a Doflamingo cosplay for one of these episodes. It's outside of Law. It's one of the cosplays that I'm probably the most excited to do, but that jacket, that pink feather jacket is so hard to find. The only place I found it is AliExpress, and it's like relatively cheap, but
will it come in time?
Yeah, we'll see by the time the episode comes.
Yeah, it should.
Shout out to our Patreon members for us being able to even do this and invest in cosplay and stuff. Again, to see, I know we're kind of jumping all around, but because again, the events of this part of this arc do seem like they jump around. But I did want to mention too, just the we got to see like this like flaming kind of bird from Usopp, and it was really cool to see how even the air outside of choking Usopp, he was able to take away the oxygen and cause the flame to extinguish. Like this guy has a lot of uses for his power. And it's just, again, really cool to see. But it was also really cool to see
Usopp
in action. I mean, this arc didn't have a lot of Usopp in action, but any bit I got, I was like,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. This is when we cut to some people around the world because this is of course being broadcast to the some underground crime syndicate that we see all kinds of people that are a part of. A lot of people that we recognize. A lot of the Worst Generation is watching.
Yes.
Kid is watching. I think even it shows some of Big Mom's lackeys that we saw watching. But there's also some people that I think we haven't met yet. A guy with horns and another guy that was like drinking some tea or something. That I'm sure that we will meet at some point, and it's going to be fun to look back and say like, oh yeah, he was one of the people watching during the broadcast or whatever.
The broadcast of death.
Yeah, the broadcast of death. So yeah, we find out again that Caesar has Law's heart, that was another term that they came to in this deal. And now they're kind of fucked, or you think they're kind of fucked. They're cuffed in C Prism cuffs, so their abilities are gone. And Caesar has the heart, and Virgo and Monet are all watching this thing unfold, and so they seem to be in a pretty shitty predicament.
Yes.
And there's even a cool moment where Tashigi and Smoker and all of them are locked up, and Robin is all locked up.
They're like, wow, look at this lineup.
Well, yeah, they're like, damn, this reminds me of way back in Alabasta,
Yeah.
And that was just fun. That was just really cool. After that, there's the giant candy that Smiley. I wrote. What did you call it again? I wrote the H2S gas. What did you say?
NHC10. But I think that's for like the giant.
Oh, that might be the
thing.
Stimulant. That might be the stimulant thing. And the gas from the disaster is the H2S gas. Okay, that's the difference. Yeah, and then again, this is the moment that weird apple kind of seems to morph into a devil fruit. Don't know what that's all about. Talked about it in the beginning. Hopefully people could give us some more clarity.
And you want to know something funny? Law's devil fruit's actually like in the shape of a heart.
That's fucking sick. I want to make more devil fruits too. I'm addicted.
It's the heart one, the red heart one.
That's fucking cool. I love Aces too. Like Aces looks awesome.
You're really going off today with these faces.
I can't help it.
Oh.
I'm wearing my man's
love.
I'm in love and I'm wearing my man's clothing. So yeah, this is where, Chopper, cause he was in the lab, left to kind of roam, kind of do some Detective Pikachu kind of work.
Oh!
He sees everybody trapped and he goes to help, but he gets hit with a little piece of paper that says, I'll do it. You make the noise. He goes, he gets a little piece of paper that says, don't do anything. And Law tells Luffy about the counter attack. Because they've been, again, it seems all over the place, but they're being released. There are people on Caesar's side. Caesar Clown doesn't give a fuck about the people that are working for him. Part of just to show the world how this experiment works, he's locked some of them out. There are Navy men that are locked out. Half of the Straw Hats are locked out, and now everybody in the cage is being thrown out. So Law's like, okay, it's time for our counter attack.
Frankie does the same thing, right? He blows it up. Am I mistaken?
Well, Frankie uses a beam to set the ship on fire to create smoke to cover, their David Copperfield kind of escaping from cuffs move.
Yeah, and it is interesting because we do hear a lot that the clowny clown, Caesar Clown, is just like constantly referring to Frankie
Yes.
Because he has this, he has the
Vegapunk's
lasers.
laser beam technology.
So he's like, oh, his body's going to be useful to me. And he says it probably like 3 times.
Yeah.
So I wonder where that's going to go.
Well, yeah, because he has technology from his,
yeah.
I don't know if I'd call them friends, but definitely his colleague.
He's like, I need it. I want it.
Yeah, I want it. I need it.
I want it. I need it.
But this is where we cut to Kid, and we get to see that alliance form specifically, and it seems like Kid kind of forms this alliance a little begrudgingly.
Yeah, totally.
But
totally.
he forms it specifically with Apu and Basil Hawkins.
Piano Mouth.
Piano Mouth and the magician.
Yeah, the fortune, like he's like
fortune
a
teller, kind of voodoo
guy.
Yeah,
I wish Kid
Basil Hawkins
joined with Luffy. Maybe at some point.
Maybe at some point.
That's a theory that I have. That maybe at some point they'll all law Luffy and Kid.
Out of the worst generation that we met on Sabaody, I do like Basil Hawkins a lot. Apu hasn't quite grabbed me yet.
Apu is Piano Mouth?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks
he
looks
looks
interesting.
Crazy.
He does.
But, I'm sure he'll win me over. But I love Basil Hawkins. I like him a lot. This is when we get a really badass line and moment from Law where he tells Smoker and Tashigi because he swapped out the cuffs. He's been there for a long time. He had these measures put in place, contingencies put in place, and so he tells Smoker and Tashigi, he's like, yeah, just keep in mind, like, it is up to you what happens to you. Like, I am not obligated to free you. Now that you're aware that someone in G5, this high-ranking official in G5, is the mole and has betrayed, sort of is actively seeming to work against the government, your ends benefit my needs. But you cannot say, and this was interesting, you cannot say anything about me, which I get. He's like, but you can also not say anything about Joker. So also not say anything about Doflamingo. So that is kind of odd that Law seems to have this like past where he, for whatever reason, has worked with Doflamingo. To what capacity, we're not quite sure. But that he's also saying like
helping him.
Not helping him, but I do feel like it's like, leave the Navy. This is pirate shit. I'm gonna take care of him. And what happens to him, I'll decide what happens to him. Like, you leave, you and the Navy out of it. It's kind of the vibe that I got. But that was cool too. And Smoker's kind of against it. But Tashigi has this really awesome moment.
So sick. I was like, Tashigi's smart using her big brain.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, if we don't listen to him, like all of our crew's gonna die.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do this.
Yeah. Such a cool moment from her.
I loved it.
One of my favorite Tashigi moments.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I kind of missed her as a character. She's like really, really, Navy through and through. I mean,
like her a lot.
She doesn't, I mean, obviously she's like doing her job, but, she understood what was happening and was like, we have to cooperate. Like, if we don't cooperate, then they're going to die and we're going to die. Like, it was just cool to see that from her. Like, to reason with Smoker. To be like, okay, well, we could put this aside for now. Because look what's actually really important. Because other people will be like, no, I would never not tell the government.
Stoop this low.
Yeah, I would never stoop this low and answer to a pirate.
I mean, we kind of got that a little bit from Foxfire, but then he came around when his body was put back together.
He came around. I wonder why he hates pirates.
Maybe it's a Wano thing. Maybe they got history.
Maybe there's what about pirate crew in Wano?
A Wano crew? I guess.
I want to see it.
I want to know.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know what happens in Wano.
The rest of the gang, they all run into each other. You got half of them riding on Brownbeard, half of them riding on a dragon, the other half riding on a dragon. They're all coming together. We get this fucking awesome, dynamic, awesome, just epic panel page of similar to like the Impel Down crew with Croc and everybody, Jinbei and Ivankov and everybody, Luffy, all kind of coming together. We get a similar just team up moment here with, I think, what seems to me to be an equally for sure, if not slightly somewhat cooler team up here in Law, Smoker, Luffy, Tashigi, and Robin. I don't know why I'm so like lit on Robin being a part of this team too. I think Robin is so strong, so capable, so smart, and to see her finally get to be a part of one of these badass teams that Luffy puts together.
Totally.
With Law and Smoker and Tashigi on it as well. I mean, this moment and to see this team up was a very hype moment for me. Very hype. Like I said, I don't know yet to me if based on how it pans out, if it's going to be better than Impel Down, but it had just as much hype to me that panel did in Impel Down when they all teamed up. But that was pretty much it. It cuts to Luffy, everybody kind of coming together, and it ends, this half ends on Luffy saying, "Let's raise hell." And I was again
sold.
Lit. And that's the end of part 1. I mean, like I said, I was a little worried going into this episode because it did feel like a lot of what we saw is going to be set up for things to come, which is fine, totally fine. But after having really talked about everything and talking through everything, I realized that there were a lot of really great moments here that I really loved.
Oh yeah, and I'm excited to see the rest of it. Is it my favorite introduction to an arc? No, but it was it had some good moments in it. It's definitely like ranking lower than I think a lot of the things that I've read thus far. If
I'm being honest too, looking back on my the feeling I felt reading it versus the feeling I feel, if I can separate those two feelings from talking to reading. Talking about it, I am energized by it, but reading it, I was like, damn, I'm not connecting. This arc isn't connecting with me in its first half as much as other arcs, even Fishman Island.
Yeah, it was a bit sloggy. Yeah. Sloggy a little bit. A little bit of slog, but I'm hoping it'll pick up.
I believe that it will. I believe that it will, and I believe that that's why, there were a couple people really pushing for us to cover it all in one video.
Yeah.
Overall, like I said, I mean, I think that kind of sums up, both of our feelings on it. Talking about it, looking back at it, super hype moments, super cool moments, but it was chaotic to say the least because of the body swapping, because of everything. And my feeling reading it, if I can transport myself back to those moments, I was having a harder time connecting with it, despite it being and featuring a character who I'm madly in love with that I've been dying to see.
Totally agree.
But I feel like we're going to get a lot more of him and possibly even some more Law or some at all Law backstory.
Yeah.
In the second half.
I'm really looking forward to it. I would assume that he's going to be a part of the Straw Hats temporarily in Dressrosa, or maybe even moving forward after that. What I'm most excited for is, I guess Law and Big Mom. I mean, I want to know more about her. We saw a snippet of where she lives, and we saw someone with 3 freaking eyeballs. So what's that about? It's just another thing. And I'm so interested in Whole Cake Island. I mean, that. I mean, are you kidding me? It's an island that's made of cake. How cute. I know. And I can't wait for that reveal. I'm so excited moving forward.
Again, in terms of this alliance, I want to see if it's going, how long the alliance is going to last, and I want to see if Law is going to be someone who just kind of sticks around and hangs out, or if his crew does become more involved. I'm interested to see that too. It seems like you're onto something.
But what if Law betrays Luffy?
It might happen. Top 10 anime betrayals of all time.
That would kind of be super sick.
I mean, they're pirates. It's bound to happen at some point.
I know. And again, it would maybe have Luffy learn a lesson to not trust every pirate he comes across. That would be a great lesson. And he's no hard feelings, but I just had to use you to do this. And I'm going to, he might do something. I don't know. That would be kind of cool. I mean, I would be damn, Law, that kind of sucks that you did that.
No, but I get,
he's a pirate. I mean,
that'd be learning a lesson the hard way.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
In terms of theories or anything going forward or predictions going forward, I mean, I am going to say if it turns out that Law was talking about Big Mom, I won't be disappointed at all. But I think if he was, then, it would have been stated. It wouldn't have been a mystery because it's the most obvious choice. I think my number 1 and number 2 prediction for who it could be is the 2 people the 2 people it would be most shocking for it to be, which would be Kaido, who Luffy has no connection to right now, or seemingly no connection to right now, or Shanks, because it would just be such a curveball. Again, Blackbeard and Big Mom feeling like the more obvious of the two. I won't be disappointed if it is, but that is why I think it won't be.
That's valid.
In terms of other Vegapunk predictions or theories, I think the Pluton Frankie theory is my new favorite theory. But in terms of like Vegapunk, I really hope, I guess it's not a theory, it's more of a hope that we get to see more of him and who he is sprinkled through the rest of Punk Hazard.
Yeah.
Because this is, again, an island that he worked on.
Another one of his facilities.
Yeah.
So... yeah.
I'm very, very, very excited. And I don't know, I'm kind of, torn, maybe I do, because I didn't technically get to wear the other Law cosplay. I inserted it into a Saboti video, I believe, but I didn't get to wear it for a whole episode. So I'm a little torn. Did I jump the shark with the Law cosplay in part 1? Should I don the pre-time skip sort of Law cosplay for part 2?
I think it's kind of gone now.
Gone, but not forgotten.
Not forgotten. It might be a little too late to go back now because we're in the new world.
What if there's a flashback or something?
If there's a flashback, go for it. But if there's not,
well, can I wear this one again then?
Yeah, to the next episode. Wear the same thing. Yeah.
I don't know. Let me know. And let us know in the comments. Give us your thoughts on the first part. I know it's kind of hard to do without spoiling anything, but please do not spoil anything. Thank you guys for watching this. Thank you guys for sticking all the way to the very end if you did. Anything else you have to say before we...
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, if you're going to tag a spoiler, because I know you guys are excited to talk about other people in the comments about it, just tag it as spoiler, and we will do our best not to read it. We're going to get better at that too, because, again, just like rampant spoilers all around.
Which we've been able to navigate and dodge somewhat successfully with a few... we haven't been able to.
Yeah, for sure. And then let us know, obviously your thoughts on Punk Hazard in the beginning or in the end, and how well it is, I guess, in the how it fits introducing Dressrosa, if it does a good job at doing that.
Yeah, because it does, again, I can't say for sure, but it does obviously feel like it is setting up Dressrosa. There's even a character, I think it was Virgo, who says that they came from Dressrosa. They came from handling some business over there, so... but yeah, let us know any and all thoughts. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it through another episode. We appreciate it. It helps us. If you want to stay even longer to the very, very end, it would help us in the algorithm so much. But before we go, we do have to shout out and we do have to thank our wonderful, our beautiful, the people who have stolen our hearts, our Patreon members. Thank each and every single one of you guys. It is because of you, like I always say, that we are able to do the things that we do.
Yes.
We are constantly blown away and moved by your support. Your support means the world to us. It is because of you that I am able to live out a dream of mine, a recently discovered dream of mine, to wear Law cosplay and to be in Law cosplay. This is possible because of you, and a Doflamingo cosplay in the future will be possible because of you.
Lit.
And any and everything that we do, down to our equipment and our mics and the quality of what you see, is all thanks to you and because of the help. Even the quality of the episodes, because of the financial freedom that you allow us to have. It allows us to put more time into this. So the show that you are seeing, listening to, watching is at the level that it's at because of you. We love you so much. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. If you would like to become a Patreon member, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/volume1pod or become a YouTube member by clicking join on this video. That will give you early access to all of our videos, as well as access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra, where we talk about anything and everything from TV shows to movies in and outside of anime and manga. We've talked about Rescue Rangers. We've talked about, Severance. We've talked about shows that we watch, as well as we've even talked about Strong World watching Strong World in a Patreon exclusive episode. So if you'd like access to that and early access to all of our other stuff at our lowest tier on both places, patreon.com/volume1pod, or click join on this video to become a YouTube member. But if for whatever reason you're at a point in your life where you can't or just don't want to support financially, that's fine. That's fine. There are plenty of other ways that you can support for absolutely free 99 that mean just as much to us that Mehgan will tell you all about right now.
Yes. If you don't have any berries to spare, do not worry, do not fret. You can always comment on any one of our videos, even if you're not subscribed, subscribe. And that does help us out a lot. It acts as a free tip to us in our channel, and it really does help. I mean, if you can't afford to pay anything, that is something you could do for free right now at this very moment as I'm talking. The people that do this lovely act indeed are called the Algorithm Gang, and they are officially gang affiliated with Volume 1, and we love them, we respect them. Every time I see a comment that says Algorithm Gang, you know, my heart just like lights up because they're doing the Lord's work. They're doing Pastor Lucci's work.
Pastor Lucci's will is being done.
Pastor Lucci's will is being done. So if you want to do Pastor Lucci's will, if you want to get in his good graces and our good graces, join the Algorithm Gang today.
That was beautiful, Mehgan.
Thank you.
Might have been the best pitch yet.
Really?
I loved it.
Oh.
Well, that's gonna do it for another Done Piece episode. Punk Hazard Part 1. Stay tuned for Part 2. It's gonna be crazy. I already know it. Stay tuned to see what version of Law I end up cosplaying. And I don't want to put pressure on you, Mehgan, but maybe Mehgan will find somebody to cosplay as well. Again, don't want to put. I feel like I put pressure on you.
I just don't know. Again, okay, so this is
because I think your cosplay today is sick.
Thank you. I don't know if you guys got it. I'm obviously.
I really do. Use the cigar. She's Tashiki Smoker. You know. I think it looks great, and I think it's awesome, and I think it reads.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you're
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
What I was gonna say is, if you guys have suggestions for cosplay, because we do our research, obviously we don't know the characters until we see them. Sometimes I do my research, but obviously there's spoilers. If you have any upcoming ones that you think would be a good fit for either me or Josh, just comment below and maybe we can just look up that character without getting spoiled.
Right, just an image or something that won't spoil their significance to the plot.
Yeah, for sure, because that's like super helpful. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, guys, that's it. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which today, Mehgan, is...
Cuck Hazard.
Cuck Hazard. What about until next time, let's raise some hell.
Okay.
You like it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, let's raise some hell. Let's go. More law. More law.